everyone. We are here at Manifest, the future of supply chain in Las Vegas, and I'm excited to have yet another conversation, and I want to take a second to introduce my amazing guests. I'm actually going to let them do the work here and introduce themselves, but I will start with Mr. Robert. Bob is how you go by. Can you please let us know a little bit more about yourself, who you are, what you do, what company you're with, and anything you think we need to know?
Yeah, my name is Bob Reny. I'm with .ai. I'm the CRO and I run go-to-market, marketing, and sales. My background actually comes from cybersecurity. Uniquely for logistics, the benefit is we want to be able to secure the data platform transmission from the edge all the way to the cloud and then back into your ERP or WMS system. But that challenge has been now, how do we get to market? What are we trying to do in market space? Most of the time, what we're trying to solve is the edge data. Where is my asset? Who's interacting with my asset? And then is it doing what it needs to be doing, whether it's been putting into a staging area or actually put onto a truck and shipped out? That's what we want to change the game and how that's resolved for organizations.
But we're going to get to Jeff in just a second, but I want to ask an important clarifying question for today. Coming from a slightly different background as you, when you say, where is my asset, what are we going to mean today when we say the word asset? I
love that question for a couple reasons. An asset is something you want to be able to track. It could be a laptop, it could be a box of lipstick, or it could be a person that needs access in and out of your environment.
Sure.
So an asset is something you want to be able to track.
Awesome. Thank you for clarifying. Jeff, can you please tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure. Jeff Schmitt. I'm the COO for Worth Industry USA. I've been working with the Worth Group for about 13 years. I oversee everything with the exception of HR and finance and our commercial team. So I get the lion's share of fun within our organization. Over the last handful of years, Worth has really been trying to establish itself in the U.S. marketplace and really been trying to find new systems and solutions that we can increase our value proposition to our customer base. And so that's where we're very excited about our partnership with .ai and what we're going to be able to bring to the market with asset intelligence solutions.
Okay, so I want to talk more about this partnership because is that fairly recent?
Yeah.
Okay.
We finalized the actual partnership and exclusivity with Worth Industry North America at the end of December this past year. And the reason we decided to become a partner together in our go-to-market, one is the breadth and reach. Our core customer is in manufacturing, but what we're trying to do is change the visibility people have of their assets pre-manufacturing or shipping out to their customers through either a 3PL or any other organization. We want to change that visibility. And with their expertise in logistics globally, and truly a leader for the fastener market space and VMI, it really changes who we can reach and interact with in the market space.
And can I ask to have your perspective kind of on why this was strategic and what you guys were looking forward to about this partnership?
Yeah, the systems and solutions, particularly available in the industrial distribution market, have been kind of limited. The technology really hasn't grown too much over the last few years, and the traditional systems, or let's call it most advanced systems that are in place, are standard RFID processes. And with asset intelligence, we're able to take this to a new level and evolve what we're going to be able to do in the systems and solutions that we can provide to our customer base, but then also be able to support our internal logistics as well as supporting our data requirements that we are trying to map and mine that is going to put us in a position to be able to gain organizational efficiencies in conjunction with providing a new proposition and solution to our customer base and market.
Okay, so we have a new strategic partnership. We're excited to grow, right? We want to grow. What do you think growth looks like in your space? Like, what is the appetite right now within your customer base? What are the opportunities that are presenting themselves? I think I'll be excited to hear from you to represent your part of the industry, but across every other sector we've talked about so far, whether it's domestic transportation, whether it's real estate, whether it's AI, we're hearing about, how much change came about because of a global pandemic and everything that's happened since that's really been accelerating opportunities to grow through evolution. So it's like each year something new is presenting itself to expand and improve and better the solution and expand your market share, bring in new customers. So, what is exciting? What's happening? How are you guys growing in your space?
So let's talk about the pandemic and what that has kind of forced us to evolve. And our company only started about 4 years, and we're just now at the precipice of a public event, going public. But what we saw in that time frame was a bias towards what information we were collecting from our products that we're using. I'll be the first to raise my hand. I use Amazon Prime, and it creates a bias. Creates a bias for me as the consumer that I need. They've received an order from me. They're going to be shipping. They've shipped an order and it's arrived. Mm-hmm. So I have a bias of when and where information is going to be coming to me as the person that has just purchased something. So that demand is now risen up into the ranks of all logistics organizations that says, well, Amazon could do it, why can't we?
Sure.
But in reality, all these disparate systems that are being impacted there's a serial number in the ERP system with a SKU for an order, right? So we know how many parts we have, but when was the last time that was updated? And what does it take to update that information? So we decided to change on its head. Most of the time the data sets require some kind of manual intervention. Bob Renny needs to go out into the warehouse and hand scan 1 item, 2 item, 3 items, and pull all that data back, and then munge it, then put it into the cloud. And we decided, let's get rid of that. You put an asset tag onto the system, and that's the last time you scan it. What we offer is the technology solution set from the asset tag to our scanning devices that put a radio blanket over your facility to then offer real-time tracking in your facility of where that asset is. And then as it is shipped out to your customer, we then automate the notification based on rules that says this is now in staging area. It's now been assigned a shipping label, and now it's on the truck and ready to go.
So there are physical tags.
Physical tags.
What do these look like when we do say
tag? They're small little tags. They're about half the size of your business card right there. And they're a paper tag. You can put them behind your standard shipping label. We also have industrial tags and then active tags. But it's that aggregation of data from the edge that becomes the bigger and most important factor.
Yeah.
And the context associated of location, temperature, exposure to light. All those other small micro data sets become very important in the bigger systems. Think about forecasting. When you have to do a forecast on your entire environment is, how many product do you need for the next 30 days to be able to ship to your customer? But there are a myriad of parts that all have different lead times. And when they get to your warehouse, or where are they in your warehouse? The average mean time of a factory outage is 4.8 hours because something is not at the production line at the time of manufacture. That costs significant amounts of money to that manufacturing partner.
Yeah.
And then you look at to the number of SKUs you manage for your customers, it just becomes exponentially more complex. So what we're trying to do is simplify that. So nowhere smarter is our tagline, but I also like to say we're getting rid of hand scanning.
Yeah.
Let's kill the hand scanner. It needs to die.
I obviously see the amazing benefits that this provides operationally, but I'm also curious, does this provide like enhanced visibility in like data analytics? Like now they can see at a deeper level what's happening, where it's moving, when it's coming, how it's going, all like it's feeding, I'm sure, all into a database that they can evaluate much better than they could.
I'm gonna actually say, you know what? I could talk about it, but let's actually talk to a customer that, I mean, this is part of the reason why we're decided.
Okay.
This is what was most attractive to .ai for us, and actually where data analytics can go and how we can incorporate AI as well as process mining into our day-to-day activities and our organization. So Bob mentioned forecasting. Forecasting is the initial start and the input that drives your SIOP, that leads to your FPA, and what you have to do as an organization in order to plan for the future. And so when we look at our product life cycle, the delivery loop from start to finish at a replenishment point, particularly with the Kanban customers that we support in industrial manufacturing, those triggers and those data points are passive in time with RFID and or are being hand scanned and it's manually done. So you're talking about hours of manual analytics that have to be performed, and you also are talking about obsolete data. And so with asset intelligence solutions, we're able to capture real-time data because everything is active and going. You can have these reads every 2 seconds, or you could have them every 2 hours. The rules engines that you define enable you to put a solution in place that best suits your organization, but then also your customer. When you look at that in the supply chain and the organizational processes at large, what this is able to do is capture that real-time data. You can use algorithms to define the actual most accurate measure, process data point, can also define inaccurate data points that you have, such as lead times on parts. We manage at Worth over 1 million SKUs here in North America. So if you can imagine the volatility that we have in our demand planning with over 1 million SKUs, there's a lot of work that's involved with that. So if we can eliminate the manual intervention and efforts that are involved and also have advanced predictability and analytics to be able to actually mitigate risk and concern within the supply chain, not only for ourselves, but for our customers more importantly, and providing them with a new transparent solution that is real time, that's something that the industrial manufacturing industry has not seen.
Yeah, so let's go a little bit further even if you guys can with me, because I've been saying for a while, we did a good job of modernizing in the sense that we used to have like no visibility to things, right? And we had like papers and it was awful, and we've progressed a lot, and it wasn't that long ago that things were like little to no visibility, like 10 years. Yeah. And now we have created a lot of tools. I'm in mostly domestic transportation, so on the transportation side we have all these tracking tools and visibility tools, and they say, hey, here's where like the truck is, and it's feeding that information somewhere, but usually it's not looked at until it's like retrospective. Like, oh, something has happened, and now we go back and we find out where we're at and what's going on. And there's other examples of that too, where we're moving around, we're trying to figure out how to automate movement of information, but we're basically saying like, hey, here's what happened. Well, that's not as helpful as like, here's what's happening right now, pay attention. But then what I also would love to see, and I think that I've heard a lot of people in the Gen AI space talk about this, but like, here's what's happening right now, and here's like actionable opportunity to do something about it or to make improved decisions, and to not just be looking at something like, okay, over the last 6 months, here's what all happened. How do we improve for the next 6 months? How are we making more real-time decisions? Like, what would that actually look like in this space?
There's an interesting phrase I'm going to steal from my CEO. It's called a recipe. And we use it in the house to make bread and cake and all that kind of stuff. But you take that to a customer order. One of his customer orders could be 40 different SKUs on one pallet.
Sure.
Right? But those 40 different SKUs are at 40 different locations in his warehouse. And if I assign that to one operator to go fill that entire order and put it onto one pallet, get it ready to shipping, how long does it take that operator to fill that one recipe, right? Bob is been working in the warehouse for 30 years and knows where all this stuff is anyways, and just has an innate knowledge of the different product. I'm going to be faster than maybe Jeff, who just started 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So if I look at the 40 different recipes I have to get done and shipped out in the next 4 hours, are you going to make that time window? What our software does is overlay all those different variables and metrics to be able to then tell you, you need to adjust today so you can make today's shipment. We'll tell you at 10 a.m. this morning, right, to be able to forecast that,
sure,
and then make adjustments in real time to the different operators that need to change. And all kinds of other things, including orders that might be waiting for arrival, all these other things that happen. And then you overlay that with other types of AI enhancements, whether it's a vision system or other things, to be able to certify certain things are done. It allows that flexibility. But it's the metrics collection, and this is where all the disparate systems that all have unique data points start to move into this mode of, now my time windows to make decisions used to be every 6 months I'd make changes. Now I'm making changes 4 times a day to supplement and reduce the impact to my customer's environment.
Yeah.
And that is the critical mode, is now you have the metrics to make a real decision.
You said disparate systems. I think we could write like a whole book for supply chain called Disparate Systems. Something we don't talk about enough, probably. I'm curious, what else is out there? And maybe from Worth's perspective, I'm sure you guys didn't just say, I think we want to partner with .ai today because that's just the one I know and the one for us. I'm sure there was some research that went into this.
Yeah.
So curious, what's different about .ai and what specifically about this solution makes sense for you guys and has made this decision and this partnership strategic?
Yeah, well, other than Bob being a fantastic guy,
I can't argue that.
Warm and bubbly personality.
Yes.
It pays off.
it was, again, about where they're at as a company and then what we looked at as a good cultural fit, to be honest. That was a big critical component for us. I mean, who we partner with, we're very selective in this. As the Worth Group is, a privately held company, family owned and operated, those partnerships are the culture integration is very key to us. And so that was one of the key criteria in actually selecting our partnership with .ai. But then it was also the solution that they were able to bring to us and how they were able to work rapidly, understand our business requirements, and work closely with us, where it really showed and strengthened our partnership that led us to, signing our agreement here in December. Combine that with the actual technology that they've done, their previous work in cybersecurity, working for DLA, and really being able to set themselves apart. We also had assurance that we were choosing a good partner that we knew we were secure with and could move forward with these new solutions and offer these to the market and our customer base.
Yeah. Just as you mentioned, like security there at the end, I have another question I thought of, again, coming from my transportation side of things, but I have to imagine that the benefits that you're providing are actually pretty cross-functional for organizations. We're not just talking about warehousing, right? We're not just talking about distribution. I have to imagine there's procurement teams, there's transportation logistics teams, maybe even customer service teams or sales teams who are depending on this type of information. Would that be an accurate assumption?
Yeah, it's actually part of the interesting thing. Our sales teams usually are reaching out to Director of Operations, COO. It's part of the reason how we got a hold of Jeff, but their organization is dealing with procurement because they're coming in to vendor managed supply.
Yeah.
And organizationally, when we're talking to somebody and say, if something is not on your supply chain or in the warehouse when you need it, who gets the call? And they're usually like, well, it's procurement. They have to see, was it ordered? When did it order? When did it arrive?
Yeah.
So it escalates up into a procurement chain. What we're doing is also going all the horizontal into the CIO to say, well, you have data sets that are sitting in your ERP system. This is the configuration of that data, and then making sure that context aligns to the endpoint asset, and then sharing that with the other systems that need to be done in a simple, easy to manage way.
Yeah, just getting the information where it needs to be for any stakeholder who may have need for that information.
Well, they all have their own dashboards they're using. The dashboard the COO uses is different than the dashboard
Disparate
the CFO.
systems.
Yeah, it's that book again.
Book.
It writes itself.
Well, congratulations to you guys on the partnership, and sounds like an exciting time for .ai, so excited about that. Exciting for you guys and the advancements that this is bringing to your organization and especially your expansion across North American markets. That's something to be watching. So I'm excited to see you guys continue to grow. If anyone is interested in learning more about what is going on with this partnership, .ai, Worth Industries, or just getting to know these amazing gentlemen, they are both active on LinkedIn. You guys can find them there. Send them a connection request. You can also comment any questions that you guys have here in the show. We'll be able to jump back and look at those, answer any questions that you guys might have. Also, please check out their website and go look at the various services that they're offering. There's a lot of great insights and materials there. I looked through it because I was trying to figure out, hey, I've never heard of this cool company, and it was fun to learn more about it. So I highly encourage that. Thank you guys so much for making time while you're here at Manifest to come talk to me and to share with our listeners more about what's been going on.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.